So within this big category of missional community, and we want to see missional communities multiply, we want to see growth and all those things, family, relationships. A big one is environments.
Yeah.
So missional environments. Where do we do this? How do we do this? How do we create space, not for some weird emotional moment to happen, but how do we create space for missional life to happen is really what we're saying.
Yeah.
I remember studying in the book of Acts and seeing 96% of conversions in the book of Acts actually happen in groups. There's very few moments where it's just one-on-one, or who's that one person you're sharing with.
Yeah.
So often the Lord uses groups and group settings.
Yeah.
And, we want to see that happen where life happens, and people like to eat together. I think you're passionate about that. People need to get together. We need to eat together. We need to throw the best parties as Christians, enjoy life together. But if you're eating good food, that might open up the door for the gospel, right?
Yeah. I mean, this should be good news for us as we think about mission and what mission is, what mission can be. I think Jesus modeled for us a lot of the time. Again, it's not at a building.
Right.
Or at a church building or on Sunday, but is literally around the table.
Yes.
And different forms of the table in daily life.
Yes.
Luke 7 has become very prominent for me recently. Luke 7:34 says, "The Son of Man came eating and drinking." Who was he eating and drinking with? Tax collectors and sinners.
Yeah.
Okay? So he was at the table with the disciples, but on mission.
Yes.
With lost people, tax collectors and sinners. And then I love, this is all in the same verse, by the way, Luke 7:34. So memorize this one. Okay. Help your people memorize this one. Luke 7:34, at the end, this is where he's called a friend of sinners. We talked previously about the difference between acquaintance and friend.
Right.
Here is where Jesus was called a friend of sinners. And so he actually modeled this right from the start back in Luke 5, after he said they were going to go fish for men. Luke 5:29, they are at a table at Matthew's house with tax collectors and sinners. So we see it right away in Jesus' ministry, Luke 5:29. But then we get here, they're doing it so often, it's become so much part of their reputation and their habit that the Pharisees are confronting them, criticizing them. Why are you guys eating and drinking so often with these people? Right. And Jesus said, because that's why I've come. I've come for the sick, not the healthy.
Yes.
And so Luke 5, Luke 7, Luke 15, Luke 19, multiple other places, eating at the table. Yeah. And so for us, our daily lives are filled with the table.
Yep.
We've got the table at home. We've got the table at work. We've got the table at school. There's tables out in the park. We can invite people to the table literally every day in this way. Yeah. And it can be simple. It can be a simple meal. It can be a coffee. It could be, a sandwich. It could be just a lot of different things. So when you think of food and think of the table, don't think extravagant. Don't think expensive. That's an unnecessary barrier. Yeah. Think simple, but thoughtful.
Right.
So don't be unthoughtful or unnecessarily cheap.
Yeah.
But as we invite people to the table, again, there's just no better context, I think, to build relationship. It's just the warmest, most relational environment, and that's why Jesus modeled this and was so often at the table.
And I think it's a unique gift. You invite people to eat, whatever culture you're in, wherever you're watching this, you eat with people. It's an opportunity to sit down, be still, know that He is God. But also you're inviting people into just everyday life. And I think it's an interesting thought too, is we get to eat with people and we're actually imaging part of what we're doing in heaven.
Yeah.
So He's preparing a feast for us. We're going to have a feast. We're going to celebrate. And so we're practicing for heaven even as we gather together. We're getting excited for what He has for us. So that shapes our view of eternity if we do this right.
Yeah.
When we think about the wedding feast and the coming together with our King, there's a joy, there's a preparation, there's an intentionality.
Yeah.
Again, you don't just show up and have a meal at somebody's house. Food doesn't just appear out of nowhere. There's thought there's time, and there's everybody bringing their gifts to the table, quite literally. I also think the table is a good kind of analogy for grace. I mean, we have the sacrament and the gift of communion that the Lord has given us. So even in having communion together, we're coming to the table, we're remembering what he's done for us. But when we eat together, we are anticipating God's best.
Yeah.
And so for an unbeliever to come into a context like that, it's such a gift to remove loneliness for somebody.
Yeah.
You know, we get an opportunity to step into people's relational needs and say, okay, I want to not just eat with you, I want to have an environment, have a home that's going to make space for the lonely, the broken, the lost, and those who need Christ, which is all of us. And so we get to eat from the same table, enjoying good food and enjoying God's best, which he's given us each other to enjoy that.
Another thing that's so cool about food and eating and the table is that it happens naturally, and it's connected with many other things we do.
Right.
Often when we go to a sporting event or watch sports, what do? You don't just watch and not drink something or eat something.
Yeah.
So you watch a good game and there's food involved.
Right.
You go to the park, you do some things at the park, and there's picnic or there's food involved. You go for a hike or go for a bike ride. You go to a destination. What happens there? There's food, there's a snack, there's a dessert, there's a drink, there's a coffee, involved. And so I just love how God has designed food. He's designed it for our nourishment. Obviously, we need it to survive, but I believe he's also really designed it for relationship.
Absolutely.
And it connects, again, it connects with almost everything we do.
Right.
Sports, hobbies, work, the life of our families, food, eating, the table, it's there for relationship, it's there to build trust, it's there for us to get deep into each other's stories.
Yes.
It's all of that. It's a beautiful thing.